But what about the current state of ethical guidelines and policies regarding the convergence of AI and XR technologies, especially in Canada? Well, it turns out that Canada lacks specific governance frameworks or user engagement processes tailored to AI and XR convergence. The Artificial Intelligence and Data Act, ADA, aims to regulate AI broadly, but does not specifically address XR and the idea that we could still soon or eventually be living in worlds where we cannot differentiate between uh, virtuality and reality. A paper by Aronson and Zabel from the Centre for International Governance Innovation suggests that the Department of Canadian Heritage should establish citizens' assemblies to discuss grassroots approaches to the AI XR nexus. This mirrors the EU's approach with their Citizens Panel on Virtual Worlds, which met last year. This involved 150 individuals representative of the EU population. They set out values and principles that could serve as a model for Canada. And these include the following, which I'll zoom in on. Freedom of choice, that there should be no disadvantages for those who aren't participating, that it should be sustainable, should be human-centered, that it should center on health, obviously that we need to work on education and literacy, and that should be at the center of it, safety and security, transparency, and inclusion. Ultimately, they made a range of recommendations. For example, labor markets should have adjusted legislation to balance work-life dynamics and inclusion. Training programs should be harmonized and funded at a European level with certifications to ensure skill recognition. Other key recommendations included establishing an international virtual police institution supported by ethically managed AI. The policing part was, perhaps not surprisingly, one of the more controversial parts if you look into how people voted when they were discussing things. It's fascinating. And providing comprehensive training for teachers on the safe and ethical use of virtual worlds. Ensuring free access to digital tools and promoting environmental sustainability through recyclable equipment are also crucial and super important. Finally, the ADA framework, while not specific to XR, is a starting point for ethical AI governance in Canada. It emphasizes a risk-based approach and aims to align with international norms, such as those from the EU and the OECD. ADA focuses on regulating high-impact AI systems, which could include applications in XR. These systems obviously have to adhere to very strict safety, fairness, and transparency requirements if they're to meet the case studies, potential future case studies that we talked about. So ultimately, while Canada is progressing towards AI regulation with ADA, it lacks specific guidelines for XR. So we can learn from the EU's approach and establish citizens' assemblies, and it could help share a more inclusive and comprehensive framework. And if we include this along with Hyder's suggestion for validation through peer review, expert consultations, and feedback sessions, hopefully will allow us to develop the best policies possible.